Man, I don't want to wait for the countdown to go all the way to 0. Hey, it's Eric. This is my second session on a Saturday. First session, I'll show you what I did in the first session. But I want to get back into it. I'm quite anxious to get some new code for a new feature working. And it's not going to take me long. That's why I get more excited, because I'll just be done with it and it'll just be there, it'll be working. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, Wisp. Oh, also, in the first session, I did a reasonable job of explaining what this software is and what it does and where it is currently. So if anyone was looking for an overview of that, just check January 14th either on Twitch or on YouTube for the video titled Overview of Wisp, or on Twitch I'm making a highlight, What is Wisp? Okay, so I did a bunch of demoing in that session. Oh, Jesus. It's the Goose. The Goose is here. Yeah, friggin' dissertation. That's right. No, here's the thing. You got to get in practice promoting your stuff. It takes a lot of practice. So every once in a while, I go ahead and just explain what the heck it is and what it does and why people might want to be interested in it. But when you release software and you're an indie, you got to do that self-promotion, unless you just want to die in obscurity. Or if you want your efforts to die in obscurity, which they might anyways. That's all right, but I got to try. I hope you're doing good, Goose. Any updates on your software that you're using to play sounds for autistic people to help them communicate? See, I'll do the pitch on your software since it's harder for you to do it. So Goose is making some software. It's a little bit like a soundboard, but it's specifically for autistic people to have like a nice display of different concepts and words, and they can click on these buttons and it puts together a sentence that will be spoken out loud for the listener that they're trying to communicate with, because these people, due to their autism, have difficulty in speaking. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an autistic person, I imagine. It could be somebody that's just having trouble communicating. So Goose has been putting together a mobile app. I think he's motivated to come in a little less spendy than some of the competitors, which is a nice thing. But yeah, anyways, you can correct or add on to my pitch if you want. But this morning, I started working on getting the audio together for the test voice. What I want to happen is that when you click on different parts of when you click on different emotions, each time you switch to an emotion, or maybe you click the same emotion again, this guy will say a canned phrase, and it will give you a test of animation, and also it's just fun. Very nice, very nice. I like it. See, we gotta help each other out. And so I went through my vast library of audio assets from the game I released at the very end of last year, called The God Killer Chapter 1. And I picked out some that corresponded pretty well to the 11 different moods, and I picked them out from 2 characters, male and female. And that will allow me to write the code for this feature and get it to work. So, for example, here's like a sample for the afraid emotion.
What is this place? Did I die?
Right. So these are
I want to go back.
lines from a game, so they kind of like lack the full context, but most of them you kind of get the gist without having to know the full context of how they appeared in the story. It's not really necessary. They're just used to demo the speaking here. So let me write the code for that. Looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to it. Go over to the Wisp project. I've got now all of these parts in here in the test voices. I feel like I should create a YML file, a YAML file that is used to tie them all together. So let's do that. Okay. Test voice manifest.yml. The more I use YAML, the more I like it compared to JSON. It does seem pretty nice as far as having text files that are easily editable by humans. JSON, you can do it, but in a regular text editor, it's not quite as nice. It's a little bit hard to see what's going on with it, and it's more verbose. Okay. So the modes. I think it's going to be like something like I could do male, bam. Then I could just go. Let's see. Neutral. Yeah, easiest thing is if I just grab the list of emotions so I don't miss any. Emotions. So there's my 11 emotions. Come back to the YAML file. Just throw them underneath for now. Okay. Neutral. And then test voices, speech, test voices. Okay, speech, test voices, male, neutral, 1.f. Yeah, like that. Okay. And then 2. Bam, bam. Okay, neutral, and then next, confused. And I figure let's just paste a whole bunch of these so I can just get the rest with quick little changes. Just to make it a little bit better. Let's go bam in like that. Okay. Okay, so I need 3 plus 7. Okay, I need 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Neutral and confused. Done. Sad. Sad. And my wife's got the music playing downstairs. And I can hear it up here. That's cool. She's enjoying herself. It might mean that the YouTube algorithms will automatically pick up on the song that she's playing and like send me the little, because of the reason I'm just explaining. When I post these to YouTube as a more enduring archive than Twitch is, YouTube says, oh, you've got copyrighted music in your video, and therefore you must be doing something wrong. 1 strike, or whatever their little penalty is. I don't have anything to demonetize, so yeah. I don't want to get my videos taken down. Open Spotify. I might look at that later. I'm assuming that's stuff that's licensed in such a way that I could get away with playing it on the stream without getting my video penalized or taken down. That's cool. That's cool. I actually probably will look at that later. The other thing though too is, like, whatever music I pick, like, other people will, it's like one of those things where you can't please all the people all the time. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Did I repeat one? Lo-fi. Yeah, lo-fi is a little bit kind of ambient. Like, it's not going to bug too many people. And then the question would be, do I like it? I miscounted or something, or... Oh, I got confused twice here. So, change this to irritated. That's impossible. Everybody has different music tastes. Like, the best you can do is probably to get some kind of lowest common denominator music that nobody likes that much, but at least nobody, or not too many people, are irritated by it. Yeah. Then you could just say, I'm just doing what I like, and then what you would be hearing is, I would probably pick, like, honestly, just some ambient techno type stuff, which there's so much of it. Or EDM. They change the name every 5 years, but it's really the same music. Okay, neutral, sad, afraid, evil. I've got music that is just for thinking, and it tends to be all like soundtracks that are used in movies and stuff like that. I'm not playing anything off of YouTube unless I know it's like scrubbed for copyrighted music, because it'll instantly fuck me up and give me warnings and shit. Okay. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm gonna fiddle with off stream. I might come back. I might come back with it. Dang it, I'm not doing this right. I'm screwing up. Hold on. Neutral. I gotta get my list of emotions back and check them. Okay. Neutral. Confused. Sad. Yes. Afraid. Yes. Evil. Yep. Suspicious. Yep. Amused. See, that's the ultimate freedom. Everybody who is watching me can have whatever background music they want. And what I'm giving them is the lack of music, so that they are able to layer on whatever music they want. Now that is a real generous gesture that I'm making to everyone in the world. People should appreciate me more. So imagine waking up every day and just the first thought in your head is, people should appreciate me more. hope people appreciate me. Alright, so that's male. I'll do a repeat of this for female. And I would bet that Goose has got a file like this inside of his project, which says names of word groups, and then specific words, and then WAV files that correspond to the words. But I could be wrong. You got some kind of settings file, though. You must have some kind of settings file. Also, I never asked, which mobile targets do you have? You're doing Android and iOS? You're starting with one and maybe getting around to the other, just doing one? Okay, so you must have like some kind of cross-platform tool you're using then. You're using Unity? That would be a weird choice, but it's possible. Hacks? Xamarin's. Okay. Xamarin's. I haven't messed with that or looked at that in a long, long time. I've heard of it. Don't know anything about it, really. But that's cool. Okay. What are the chances that I got this format correct the first time? Pretty small. Let's do my little pocket design. Oh wait, there was one thing I had. It's probably good to save. Yeah, this terminology thing. Let's hold on to that. Get rid of this. Clean out my scratch a little bit. Wow, that sounds nasty. Gotta clean out my scratch. Okay, then get rid of this up at the top. Okay, requirements. Configurable WAV files. WAV files, speech audio, plays, animates for all motions. Do I want to say lazy loads? I'll just say no loading delay for WAV files. You can load async in background, wait to play. Let's see. Okay, load async in background. If click on emotion before all WAV files loaded, either handle with loading delay. Nah, I don't want to have a loading delay. Just gracefully handle it some way. I'm not sure exactly which way yet. I'll just wait. Configurable WAV files for emotion player, gender combinations, and what else? That's good. That's good. First solution. I think test voice loader will be the class. And follow conventions, follow patterns of part loader. Okay. What does that mean? Should have a load manifest method. Okay. I don't need to return the manifest, so there's nothing useful to do with it, is there? Return test voices, maybe. I kind of like that, because what that could be is an object instance that is still loading in the background. No, the object instance is already loaded, but its members can contain instances of the speech audio that are still in the process of loading, and you'll be able to tell if it's loaded or not. Okay, so test voices. It's going to have a bunch of speech audio for gender, emotion pairs, combinations. Some data structure that can represent that. I won't come up with it yet. Now then, I think instead of returning information about the speech audio, it might be better just to encapsulate everything. So we say play, and then we pass in the emotion and the gender. Might be more generic with this. I feel like I'm in trouble if I just make an enum constant for gender. I'm already in trouble with somebody in the world. And if I made it correctly to have like every possible gender representation that might matter to somebody, that gets away from what I actually need to do. So I want a different name, like voice style or character voice, and then I can just say male, female, or something like that. On top of that, it doesn't imply like hero of the genders. Okay. Male fronting, female fronting, male, female. Yeah. So I don't even want to get into that conversation with a single person, because I already know there's somebody that will be honestly hurt by it, and it will and I'll bother them, and there's no need for me to bother them. Like when I really need to say, here are all the genders, and I'm going to be exhaustive about it and do it correctly, I'll do it. I don't need to for this, so why write it down that way? Okay, so character voice. Let's do test voice type. Okay, so we'll do test voice type, and then we'll do male, and we'll do female. That's it. I'd be like that. Play emotion, test voice type. That's it. And that can be an enum off of in this file. Okay, cool. So that's pretty good. And then I can say init. Okay, this will be in general interactions. TS. Init is going to set new instance of test voice loader. Call load manifest, and represent as loading until completed. Okay, and then I'll need it might be better to put this stuff. Okay, no, it'd be fine. It'd be fine. Okay, so then let's do play test voice, emotion, test voice type, wraps call to test voices. Okay, this is very straightforward. I don't need to write a number 2 design. I can't think of any trade-offs or improvements. This seems just fine. So let's just move ahead with this. Whoa. Oh my God. I've got to check out the genders JSON. You might be being too helpful right now. It's not real practical for me to bring it up on the screen right now, but just for anyone who hasn't clicked on the link that might be interested, there are about 20 to 30 different genders listed in this JSON file. And if I was looking to represent gender possibilities well, this would definitely be a pretty good place to start from, maybe to end on. It seems very thorough. Next, you'll need to get me the JSON file for all the letters in LGBTQIXNTP plus. Let's see. All right. I have a vision. I have clarity. It's time to move forward. So we go to Faces screen. View. Let's just create a new directory for this stuff. Test voices. There it is. Okay. Then we'll add test voice loader. Where do you find all this stuff? Nice. Test voice loader. And might as well grab what I got here. I was being facetious. I thought I would give you a problem that you couldn't solve, but I was wrong. In a way, you've bested me. Okay. So then, just to keep it simple, let's just declare test voices here for now. Yes, you have betted and bested me. Okay, this is going to be async function, load manifest, and then bam bam. Oh, not async function, just async. Okay. Promise test voices. Oh, yeah, you're complaining because I haven't returned anything yet. Okay. So test voices, it's going to have speech audio, import speech audio from not the relative path, the absolute import. Cool. Okay, and the structure here, I'm going to have to define it. Okay, so it's going to be type test voice speech. I hate names of things that are the same when they're where the singular and plural is a little unclear. So you say speech, and that's kind of like also the plural. Let's do audios. Test voice, speech audios. Okay. Actually, that's just an array of speech audio, but I could even do $11 of these, be more specific. Instead of just saying it's an array, I'll just say there's going to be 11. Now, can I do this? Can I do like neutral? Does that work? Oh, it does. Good. That is a little more self-documenting. Okay, go back and grab the 11 emotions again. Okay, so it's going to be neutral. Yeah. Okay. Confused. Sad. Afraid. Okay. Evil. These 11 emotions have served me well. I'm not saying that a person wouldn't eventually want more or different emotions to use in expressing a character, but as just a basic set, they are kind of like your little starter set of Crayolas. It's not bad. Okay. So then, test voice types. Enum test voice type. I say male, female. Okay, and then down here, naming fails me. Just get it down, and I'll fuck around with naming. Audios. It's gonna be test voice speech audios, but then it's gonna be bam. It's gonna be an array of those, one for each test voice type. Okay. So what do I want to call it? Like I kind of want to call it test voice speech audios, but it's like there's another plural on top of it. So is there some other name I could give this one? Let's call it per emotion speech audios. Audio test voices. Yeah, I think I'll say per test voice speech audios. It's not for me because speech audio is the name of the class that's used for loading and playing, and I'm reusing that. So yeah, I'm weird with naming. I'll admit that right now. The things that are obvious to me are not going to be obvious to other people. It's just sort of an internal consistency kind of a thing. Okay, test voices. Okay, let's make this private. Then I'll need the constructor. I don't know what goes to that constructor yet. I mean, it could just be this. Honestly, it could just be that. Yeah, that's probably the way I want to do it. Okay. Okay, and then there'll be play. And it's gonna take emotion. Let's do test voice type first. Oh, good God, I forgot. There can be multiples of these. So these are going to be bam, 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 bam. Import from here. Okay, let's play that. I'm thinking about how to track the last one of these clips that I played, because each one should alternate between the two, so I'll need another data structure for that. But just to keep it simple, for the time being, we could do const speech audio equals this get speech audio test voice type emotion private. Yeah, it's gonna be private. I'll do that. Private get speech audio test voice type. Say or null. Okay. If test voice type is I'm not going to add guards for every stupid thing I might do. That's wasteful. If I go out of bounds on the array, it'll be very clear to me it's a debug error. So const per emotion speech audios equals this per test voice speech audios test voice type. Okay. And const. I don't want to do the or null. Let's just always return speech audio. Variation though. To do alternate. Okay, const. We'll just return per emotion speech audios emotion and then variation no. Okay. What? You're doing could be undefined? Yeah, I thought you might do that. Okay, const speech audios. How's it done? Is it a question mark here? Equals okay. You're saying this could be undefined? No, come on. Come on. Okay, per emotion speech audios. First, let's just take this off. Okay. Tuple type has no element at index 11. Okay, I get it. Because this compiler is being pretty smart, and it's saying there's one extra element at the end. So let's say if emotion greater than equal emotion, I always put like this one extra element to the end of an enum called count, and that's making the compiler say, wait, it could be count. It's not actually true. And now, even though I've got code in front that specifically checks for that case, you're still going to complain about that. But that looks like a compilation error, not just a linting error. Let me see what actions it says I could do. me see what they suggest there. Okay. Okay. Const emotion I equals, let's see, number, or here, okay, equals emotion as number. And if I say emotion I here, there, done. Okay, then next. Return speech audio's variation number. Okay. That's not bad. Okay. Is there a check to see if it's loaded? Doesn't look like it. Let me see how that works. Oh, I see. These things, they pass in with the audio buffer. Okay, this is trickier. I have to write an encapsulating class that will hold a speech audio member which is set to null until the background loading succeeds in getting the audio buffer and the lips text. Okay, what is the thing that loads it? Speech file util, that'll be it. So I'll say load speech from URL. It will return a promise with the speech audio. So I do need an encapsulating structure for all that. Cool, got it, no problem. So let me redo my data structures further. What do I want to call this thing? Type. This is my chance to use a new name that is not so verbose, that encapsulates this. Has to do with test voice. I think I'm gonna use just audio by itself, because I can have speech audio inside of it, or just speech, per emotion speech, or hold on, before I do a whole bunch of stuff, let's just get it all figured out here. Okay, so say it was test speech, and that's going to have speech audios encapsulated inside of it for all the variations, and no, it should be per emotion speech. That's it. Okay, and then per emotion. I'm just gonna call them speeches. And that's this array below. Although I could call that per voice speech. Okay. And then test voices. Per voice speech. Bam bam. Okay, I think that's it. Per emotion speech. equals bam that, and it's going to have variations, speech audio, bam bam. Okay. Also needs a remaining to load. Nah. Okay. So then this is going to change to per voice speech. And these will be per motion. This down here is going to be bam like that, bam like this, and for voice speech. Why don't you like that? I'll get to it. Okay, so then it's a little bit easier now. Oh, also, this is the good part. I can keep track my last played variation. Next variation, no. Number. Cool. Equals okay, so I need to get this for voice speech, test voice type, okay. For voice speech, and then the variation number will equal per motion speech, next variation number, plus plus. Just increment it. Or here, let's just assign it first. And then, I don't need this. Increment and loop it. Percent per motion speech variations length. that would just kind of increment it, but loop around when it gets to the end of the index. And then we'll return per motion speech, speech audio. Let's see, variations. Okay. So then once I have that, we say this could return null because it might not be loaded yet. It might not be loaded yet. Then, if speech audio is there, then we just play. Speech audio, play, bam, bam. Okay, but the other thing I have to check is if something was already playing. So last speech audio. I don't want to play over the top of an already playing bit of speech. So if I just retain it, I can stop it before something new plays. So I come down to play again, and I say before we even get to playing anything, let's just check if something's already playing. If this last speech out, whoops. Stop. Okay. I think that should do it. Okay, so I got all the playing stuff. I feel pretty happy with that. I can actually start putting some of these into different files, and then this new bit of code I'm going to write down here won't be so cramped, cluttered. Add test voices. This per voice speech I can keep inside of there. Per motion speech I can keep inside of there too. Test voice type I'll probably put in a separate enum. Okay. I'm going to go and look at this other bit of code to see what I did for my test voice selector. Okay, look at that. I've already got this here. Male, female, muted. Okay. Why don't I just yank it out of here and reuse it? don't need to take the option names. That doesn't make as much sense. It's ridiculous. I spent all that time thinking what would be the right name for this thing. I'd already gone through this thought process earlier and arrived at the same name. Bitwo, yes, welcome. I'm doing good. I'm pretty happy. It's a Saturday. I got lots of time in front of me to work on my own personal projects, and that makes me happy. I'm doing good. How you doing? Test voice selector. We'll do an import. No, come on. And import statement, yeah. And that will go from UI, face screen, faces screen. Why is that not? Oh, no. Oh yeah, no UI in front. Okay, import the test voice type over here too. And I think maybe I'll just do the full absolute path to it. Okay. Test voice loader. No longer need that, or I do need it, but I'll get it from an import. Not sure if I need that yet, but come back to it. Okay, test voices. So let's see. So next it's going to be loading in the manifest. I should take a look at what I've already got in part loader. Load manifest. There's this part too. Test voice manifest. And the way that I'm going to do it actually is I'll just have YAML, the library, parse that file and see what structure it actually creates. Test voice manifest. Okay. So I don't have to do all the work of loading and parsing this yet. Let's just make sure we'll be able to load this thing. Okay, const manifest equals load manifest URL. And let's even be smarter and say await. Okay. Then we'll say Dan the Mini. Dan the Mini T. Dan the Manit. Dan the Man. YouTube. Interpreting your handle various ways. Welcome. Welcome, Dan. I will say Dan. Yeah. Well, it's hard to get like the exact making sense to everyone handle. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, my handle Eric H 2000 this kind of bit me in the ass. Uh, I mean, not that badly, but like when I chose that handle, it was like back in like the 90s, and there was like an irony to saying 2000 on the end of something because it was like it was to imply it's futuristic or scientific or something kind of sci-fi. And then later on, there was the convention that the date you put after your name on a handle is the year you were born, and now I just look like a pervy guy that tries to represent himself as a millennial so he can hang out on more youthful chat places. Yeah, exactly. Hey girl, what you up to? Let's talk. I'm a youthful guy. Especially when I got my fedora on. Yeah. But how long have I been coding? I've been coding since '93, professionally. And if you go by like writing code as a teenager, then since '85. Yeah, decades. Oh yeah. What's your entry point to it? Like you trying to do games or web apps or tutorials? Python. And then you looking to get into it as a paying work. Like is your main kind of impulse like I want to get a job, get paid to do this? Yeah, if you say Python, it makes me think like, oh, this guy's he's trying to get a decent job. Not to say you wouldn't actually enjoy it, but it's a practical choice to say Python. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, yeah. I haven't done much Python at all. I did bring up friggin' Anaconda. You know what Anaconda is? It's like that kind of suite of data analysis and data processing tools. It's pretty great as far as like just give me everything I might possibly want to use for data science. Yeah, like if you were aiming for data science type applications, like Anaconda is pretty nice because it'll bring in things like Jupyter Notebook and like machine learning toolkits and stuff like that. Yeah, Goose pointed out like the thing that I should do more often is like check to see if anybody wants advice before you start giving it. Like you didn't ask for tools or anything like that. But no, I was just saying that I played with Python a little bit and liked Anaconda. But yeah. Anyways, let me go back to this thing here. Yeah, well, it's good you're finding it interesting. That's sort of the juice that helps you push through the hard stuff. It's like I feel pity for people trying to learn software engineering, coding, and they don't really enjoy it. They just try really hard, like A students. It's like so much work. Like, are you sure you don't want to put that same amount of effort into being a CPA or a lawyer or something like that? Okay. So let's do const Test voices equals load test voices from manifest. I've got a little text from my wife. Want to see what that is. $36 waist. My wife is asking me my waist size so she can buy me some pants. Yeah, about the tutorials, some people love to follow them. I'm in the same camp as you. Like, I'd prefer to just like pick a project that's interesting to me, even just like an unambitious one, and try to get that to work than follow a tutorial. I just did like a GraphQL tutorial, and it was like really hard for me to keep my attention span throughout it. Yeah. Okay, let's pass in the manifest to this function and async. Let's see. Let's just return this. Async function. Just do any for now. And then we do promise. Test voices. Bam. I love Goose's advice. It's good advice. Okay, turn new test voices, and then what does it want me to pass to it? This, just say, let's just do it this way. Return as test voices. And we say to do. Then I want to console log the manifest. I probably need to JSON stringify it because it's going to be pretty nested. So just do that. Nope, no primary passion. That's like saying you don't got a soul. No, just joking. Not at all. Not at all. Ba, ba, ba. Test voice loader, test voices. Okay, that's all fine. At some point I will need to make a test voice manifest. But I can wait. I can wait just a little bit. Let's get this so it loads in the file and outputs the structure. So for that, go to General Interactions. Oh, for me, I'm using TypeScript, which is like it's like JavaScript, but with types in it. I'm not sure if you're asking me or Goose. Goose is, I think he's using something called Xamarin. or his cross-platform mobile targets. Okay, so general interactions in it, and then I want to have let's see. Up here. Const test voices equals new. No, equals null. Test voices or null equals null. Okay, I go down to init. Const. No, I don't need it there. You say test voices equals new test voices. No, test voices equals await. No, what is it I need? Const test voice loader equals new test voice loader. I need to oh, sneezing. I mean, it seems like quality advice you're giving. That's what I'm saying. It seems like you're not just making up some nonsense. Like, I'm listening to that and I'm saying, I don't want to add anything to it because it sounds like you got it covered, buddy. Okay, const. No, not const. Test voices. Wait. Test voice loader. Load manifest. Okay, and that's going to be speech. Test voices. Test voices. Manifest. Top line mount. Bam, like that. Did I get the URL right? I think I did. Maybe not. Test voices. Why am I so inconsistent with my camel casing? Okay, test voices. Okay, test voices, and this is test voice manifest. Okay. And then why are you complaining about that? Oh, because I did a const up above. It needs to be a let. Let. Okay, so that'll set that. Okay. It's complaining about something up top. This needs to come from a different location. It's going to come from faces screen. Test voices. Test voice type like that. Dude, not to give you a bunch of stuff to do, but GitHub is pretty nice. It's a way of just like sharing your stuff with people and seeing things. So no, you don't need to. There's like a free version, as long as you're willing to make all of your source public. So yeah, I mean, you've been to a million GitHub pages, but it's a nice thing to include all your projects there. And when you're looking for jobs, you put right on your resume. You say, here's my GitHub profile. And if people go there and they see something beyond like a little to-do app or something that students going through boot camp ask you to do as your project, if you get off the beaten path just a tiny bit, your GitHub collection of software will sell you beyond your resume too. Private repos are free too? Cool. Yeah, but GitHub is like, it's almost an essential tool for IT job hunting or coding job hunting. Just don't make like to-do apps though. That's like everybody that decides they're going to put some code up on GitHub to help them with a job search. They make these like cliched apps. So okay, you go do the boot camp, and they say probably make something besides the cliched cookie cutter projects that they tell you about at the boot camp. Just pick anything that's a little bit off the beaten path, and you'll look so much better. Oh yeah? What'd you make? Yeah, I like how you're thinking, Goose. I think it hasn't been figured out yet. Between the university courses and the boot camps and like the online courses and MOOCs and everything, I just don't think it's quite been figured out. There's also a huge problem at the entry point level where a lot of companies, they don't want to hire entry level. So it's like, come through our intern program or spend 4 years contracting. Even the contracting companies are kind of like, you got any experience before we put you out on a project? And I was thinking like there ought to be something that's sort of like an open source mentorship program / boot camp that just gets you to that I can write code for real state meaningfully and in a way that is accepted by people that are hiring. A website where you can select what food you want, or a program that you can do that, and a random feature if you can't. So yeah, that is what you want on your GitHub. Put that on your GitHub. Add a little joke in your little README that says, I made this for my girlfriend. And immediately when I'm looking through like your repositories, I see to-do app, I'm not going to look at that. I see, the food chooser, and then I click on it. It says in the README, I made this for my girlfriend so she could choose food. Then I know like there was something that made you want to write that code. And that means a lot more to me than like the cookie cutter stuff that the boot camps has everybody make. I'm saying this as somebody that's hired like so many engineers and set up hiring programs and been on the other side of it too. But yeah. All right, you got the mealdb.com API. I'm checking it out. Meal. I don't mind if you guys distract me. This is interesting. I will get back to my stuff in good time. This is cool. This is cool. Yeah, dude, this is good stuff. This goes beyond what all the little boot camp students make. So, if it's open source, if you don't mind sharing it, then I'd say put it up on GitHub. But anyways, I'm over advising. Just saying, like, it's when you get to the point where you're hiring for work, stuff like this can go a long ways. Boom. Okay. Okay, got my general interactions, got my init. So then let's come back and see where I broke. Anything in SO web page, git status. Lots of stuff. Git commit. Okay, then we say this some stuff I should have just checked in earlier. Drawing order support for extra parts. Git add. Okay, push that out to SL web face. Okay, how is this building? Okay, I can fix that one. That's a really easy one to fix. That's in test voice selector. Let's go get that. Oh, damn, I just fixed my import. What? I wish it would just say which module this is from. I can find it, but like it'd be such a better output message if you would say which module you were inside of. Let's just search for this. I know I can find it from that. Yeah. 2 places, revision util and view settings interactions. Okay. So this will change to faces screen, test voices, test voice type. Okay. And then this will change. Similar fashion. Alright, so advice number 5. Although you are a beginner, don't treat your project as, am I ready for this? Instead, think like the following. The moment I don't know how to do this, so we'll build this project so that I do. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, there's like maybe the counter advice, which finds a balance, which is you could bite off more than you could chew if you get too ambitious, but as long as, yeah. I don't know. Goose will have his opinion, but I would say, ideally, you look for blocks of time when you're starting out. You need larger blocks. Okay, but then like you got a lot of stuff going on right now, so you're just trying to fit in. You're like J.K. Rowling, get a little bit of writing done in Harry Potter every day. And that's my case too. If you can find those blocks of time they're larger, they'll help you. But if not, then just, it's better to consolidate, I guess. If you're able to get like 4 hours in one day, and rather than 2 hours in 2 days, but you skip a day, it's a little bit better when you're learning. Because the thing is, when you're learning, sometimes tasks which would be a lot simpler for you when you're intermediate are going to kind of put you in a quagmire, and it takes like a sustained push to get through that quagmire. It'll be like, you start writing a function, it doesn't compile, and then it sends you off to look at some other document, and it teaches you about like some different array types, and then you pick up on the array type, and that says, well, why don't you use this library to sort your array, and then you go mess up with that library, and you kind of go down these rabbit holes when you're learning that take longer to get through. And Goose is going to say some stuff which might contradict me, and that's cool. But for myself, I like to get those blocks when I'm learning something new. Oh man, dang it, I was going to guess that you were from the UK, but you beat me to posting that. I already thought you were from the UK based on you typing in 3 letters. You typed in 3 letters, and I said, he's UK. You know what those 3 letters are? ERM. Which really confused me earlier on when I read that in different places, and I go, really? People are saying erm? Okay, I think I got this compiling. I know I'm taking forever to get to it, but okay. So it successfully loaded in that manifest file. All that code that I just wrote worked. That's cool. Let's see. You know how I know people are from the US? 4 letters that make up a noise. Boy, that's a riddle. That's a riddle. I like a riddle. Bang. Okay. Bang. What? UK, you wouldn't say bang? Okay, let's just put this into Scratch. I suppose I could just make a new JSON file. Okay. All right, so it did mail, and it did an array. Is there just a way I can just prettify this? No. All right. Oh, I'll quit fucking around with that. All right. So mail, neutral one, array of URLs. Okay. Okay. That's as I expected. So let's make a structure that matches that. View, test voice selector, test voices. Okay, here it is. Add. Test voice manifest. Okay. Don't have a class or a type. What did I use for the other one? I might have just done any. Let me see what I did for the other one. Chooser interactions, part chooser interactions. Okay. Load manifest, and there's a part manifest. Part manifest is just this. Okay, I'll do the same thing. Okay, so this is going to be a type. Okay, so test voice manifest. Type. It's going to be it's got to be exactly the same. It's got to match exactly the same. Male and an array. Female an array, and then these will be all the emotions. So it's going to be, let's go get them. Could I add you on GitHub formal? Go ahead. Yeah. Happy about that. Boom, boom. Neutral. And it's going to be a list of URLs like that. Confused. Sad. Afraid. Suspicious. Amused. Happy. What is the obstacle to letting it verify your account? It must be like you're from one of those terrorist countries like England or Scotland. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait, but Dan, you were under specific about like which country in the UK. Well, okay. I'm trying to figure out which terrorist organization, but you told me IRA, Ireland. I'm not sure if you're from Ireland. Yeah, that is specific. From England. I've visited maybe 6 cities in England or something like that. Which one do you live in? Don't worry, I'm not going to come to your house. I probably won't. You're not from Sheffield, are you? Manchester, near Manchester. Okay. I've been to Manchester. I played snooker in Manchester. It was a fun time. That's my memory of Manchester, is playing snooker and then just marveling at the large size of a snooker table. Because we don't have very many of them in the US. We got those little pool tables. But yeah, Manchester. The thing I like about Manchester is it's got stuff to see, but it's like I'm sure I'm pronouncing it weird, but it's a real city, you know, with people doing their own shit in it. It's not like a cute little tourist town. It's not overly catering to touristic whims of travelers. I suppose that's probably true of the other places that seem like that to me too, but like a place like Bath or actually Bath was really cool. But yeah. I don't know much of anything about Manchester, though. I should not pretend. Let's see. Okay, so that should be fine. So then go back to... I know nothing at all about Blackwell, which is the actual place. Or Blackburn. Load test voices from Manifest. And over here, what am I going to do? I'm going to do... I think the way to do it is... create the structure that test voices is looking for. Return new test voices, and we're passing in what? Per voice speech. Okay. Alright, so then how to populate per voice speech. Or let's see. Test voices has got all those types in them. I could import them from there. I think I do want to do it that way. Let's do that. Per voice speech. Do exports on these. Exports on these. Then come back to test voice loader. Let's import that. Okay. Per voice speech. Bam, bam. Okay. 3:45. It's getting late. Okay, set this to be an empty array to start. Const male voice speech per voice speech equals load per voice speech. We'll do manifest. This is going to be test voice manifest. Okay, and that's going to be manifest male. Okay, and next one, female voice speech. Female. This will be male voice speech and female voice speech. Okay. These can be, do they need to be awaits? They don't need to be await. In fact, none of this needs to be await. Just make it like that. Yeah. Synchronous. We can do synchronous. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, what is this gonna be? It's gonna be well, there's not really a type for that, but I can make that type. So we'll say type. Per voice. Ah, that's my wife. Per voice manifest. I guess this thing. That's like a tiny bit tricky, but not too bad. So there's two ways of doing it. How I usually do it is I create the files on my local development environment first. Then I go to GitHub and create a repository, and then do all the Git commands to upload to it. But they do have some docs on GitHub that will walk you through most parts of it. What I said there made it sound like it's really easy, but you might kill a few hours the first time you do it. Because you gotta do things like generate an SSH key and stuff like that. But it is pretty well documented. There you go. There you go. Okay. So I do that, I've got that exportable type, come back over here, I can import per voice manifest. Then I can use that per voice manifest, and then do, what's this gonna be? It's gonna be per voice speech. Okay. And I could just return that, but I kind of like this for now. Okay, so this is going to be expecting. Boy, she is just chatting me up a million. Okay. So then there's per voice manifest. Neutral. Come on. Why are you not auto-completing for me? Jesus, lady. Okay. Let's do. What's this other thing? I need function upload something else. Getting lost in my data types. Whew. Okay. So Dan Goose, I gotta take off here. It was really cool hanging out with you. My wife has chatted me up with some things I gotta talk to her about. Nothing bad or anything, but I am distracted by it. So I'm gonna stop the stream. Cool. Yeah, it's good to meet you. Talk to you guys later.